My youngest daughter is Stephanie, although when she went to the military, her first name, Timmie, became the major. Now she uses that more than she does Stephanie. So she's got three children. Forrest, who's about 17. His sister Ashley is about 16. And about 9 years old is Cullen. And they live in San Antonio. And she's served in the military. Her husband is a career military officer, and she basically is a very much of an entrepreneur and has small businesses on the side of her job of working as a civilian with the Air Force at Randolph Field in San Antonio. She's very independent, outspoken, straight talk, delightful lady. Moving to Okinawa and Japan for their 4-year assignment. And I hope she says she'll commute with the kids back and forth between Japan and Maui when she gets stir crazy. So that'll be interesting. Timmie, we haven't covered Timmie, right? I think Timmie wanted to join the military, and she was independent living at 15. She was streetwise, music, drugs. There was no telling where she's been in Austin, who she's been with in Austin. She was a night manager for Kirby Street Cafe, handled drunk UTs, fraternity rats coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she was a tough cookie, and she came to live with us in Hawaii, and she went to the private school that I was headmaster of. And then that job, I basically had to communicate to the board at the high school that they had brought me into to do that they didn't have enough money and I couldn't see them raising enough money to make it viable. They had a K through 8 program, and that was a very difficult policy position to take, and so we agreed to part, and one of the Conditions was that I had a scholarship for her that she was on. She was as part of the job, and that scholarship would continue without any negative attitudes towards Timmie, Stephanie. And she stayed on, and we commuted, and she had an appetite or was attracted to boys of color. And I remember sitting on having her come in from some dates and sitting and talking about the first time that she had made love to somebody, and it was a Tongan boy, and I'm sitting there on the sidewalk with a full moon and the trade winds going by and talking to her about her first sexual experience. I was like, Malia's response to that was, I need to take her down to get birth control information because I don't want her to be pregnant on her watch. That was her take of it. So I eventually met the parents of this guy. Later, she had another boyfriend who was a Filipino guy, and I had to go negotiate with a sister of her boyfriend, acting as the translator to the Filipino family that didn't speak English, that we were going to have a agreement to agree to get engaged in a year, and which eventually turned out that it didn't last. But Timmie fell in love with Hawaii, and she was in the military. When we got back from there, she decided that near the end of her high school that she was wanting to go in the military. And I said, well, what's the problem? And she said, well, I've already taken the test and I flunked the math test. And I said, well, I can tutor you in the math. And she said, okay. So we worked about 3 weeks. She was a great student, very focused, got it, took the test, bam, knocked it out of the park. And I said, well, she said, I'm in. I said, no, you have one more hurdle to jump, and it's the most difficult hurdle you've ever had. She said, what? What are you talking about? I'm saying you're going to have to pass a drug test, and you're smoking and doing all kinds of stuff. And she said, what is today? Oh, this is the 25th. 30 days, I'll be clean as a whistle. And she cleaned up her act, went in for the test, passed the test, got into the military. Her husband had a first child in England, in the English healthcare system. We went over and visited him, and she's been a great mom. That she has a daughter that's 16 that has a wild streak, just like she did. And I think I think Timmie looks back on her own childhood and realizes how wild she was, that she is a helicopter mom with her daughter, and it's her daughter is 16 and leaning out of the house, you know, and it's hard. It's hard on her, and then because I think she knows what lurks in the hearts of the wild girl, you know, and so.